Hey guys, so in this video I wanted to talk to you about something I said that I was going to tell you guys about in a couple of videos ago, one or two videos ago. I had mentioned that we had an unplanned fire drill and there were some issues in terms of that. So for those of you who don't know, I work at an elementary school as a special education paraprofessional, and most of the time I'm either working with our ECSE classroom, which is early childhood special education, which ranges from the age of 3 to 5, or I am working in one of our kindergarten classrooms, or sometimes occasionally one of our first grade classrooms, more like one-on-one with students in those classrooms. So this particular incident happened when I was working with two of our students in one of our kindergarten classrooms. And I will let you guys know, like, we actually as staff are aware of all of our like drills as far as fire drills, tornado drills, lockdown drills, and things like that. So we kind of have an idea of when they're going to happen. We know what day it's going to be on at the very least. Sometimes we know what time it is, other times we don't. But this one was not a pre-planned event. It was done by our local fire department. They kind of wanted to see how we would handle the situation being unplanned. And what they did was they blocked off certain exits from the school. So they kind of set it up to where it was a situation where, say there was a fire in the school, they blocked off certain exits. So some of our exits from the kindergarten classrooms were blocked off, and it became a very confusing situation because once the fire drill, or once the fire alarm was pulled, we obviously got all the kids lined up and ready to go out of the classroom. We went out of the classroom, and one of our kindergarten classrooms is very close. Well, both of our kindergarten classrooms are very close to their fire exits. So it's literally not that far for our kids to go to be able to get out of the school to safety. And anyway, as we are exiting the classrooms to go out those exits, both of our kindergarten exits are blocked off. So instead of the fire department telling us, to find an alternative route or, whatever, they had told us that you can't go outside. So if the fire alarm is going off and the fire department members are standing there saying you can't go outside, your mind would automatically go to, or at least mine and the kindergarten teacher that I was working in her classroom that morning thought was, okay, there's something going on outside. We're in lockdown mode. Like, is there an active shooter? We don't know. We were just told that you cannot go outside. So we brought our kids down the hallway towards the higher grades of the elementary, and there were firefighters blocking off those exits as well. And so they said you can't go that way either. So we were kind of at a loss for what to do. We didn't really know, like, okay, are we supposed to go outside because the fire alarm's going off? Normally there's a different protocol for lockdowns. I'm not going to tell you that just because of safety. But like normally our school has a totally different protocol for a lockdown or an active shooter. The protocols are completely different than pulling the fire alarm. So we should have recognized that as well, but we didn't really know what was going on. And it was very confusing. Our kids were crying. They were scared. They thought it was, a real fire because, one of the firefighters, as we were walking down the other way to an alternate exit, had said, you can't go this way, there's a fire. So our kids thought that it was a real situation, and we didn't know what was going on either. So the kindergarten teacher and I ushered our kids into a classroom that had an emergency exit to the outside. We had them sitting down because, again, we thought it was a lockdown drill or a lockdown period. So we had them sitting against the wall, farthest away from the doors, just for safety reasons. Sorry. But then they were telling us, no, it's a fire. You have to go outside. So again, we didn't know if it was real or not. We didn't know what was going on. And mind you, all of this seemed to last for like a half an hour, but it was going very, very quickly. So we got all of our kids outside. We got them to the points where they were supposed to be at for us to have roll call to make sure that everybody was safe and accounted for. And from the time that they pulled the fire alarm to the time that roll call was completed was 7 minutes. So like I said, in all reality, it really didn't take us very long. Like some of our actual fire drills, where we know that it's a fire drill, where, you know, we're aware that that's going to happen and they're going to pull the fire alarm, some of those have taken longer than 7 minutes. So just the fact that we were able to, even with all that commotion and confusion, um, even though we were confused and disoriented for the most part, we were still able to get our kids to safety within a very, very short amount of time. Um, and like I said, it was just a very confusing situation, and a lot of our kids were upset. I was very surprised that my two that I work with one-on-one for the most part, um, I was very surprised that they reacted as well as they did. Like they were cold because obviously it's cold outside right now. But, you know, once I told them, you know, kind of jump up and down to keep yourself warm, they were doing that and they were fine. There have been times in the past where at least one of those students has ended up screaming because that particular student doesn't like loud noises, and obviously fire alarms are very loud. So I was really nervous about like trying to keep them calm and keep them, you know, on track and with the rest of the class, because one of those particular students also likes to throw themselves on the ground, you know, when they're overstimulated with sensory stuff. So anyways, I just wanted to tell you guys about that. It was definitely a very hectic and stressful situation, but I'm glad that we were able to do what we needed to do in a timely fashion and get everybody accounted for and everything like that. It was just very scary because, like I said, we didn't know what was going on. We thought that when they said we couldn't go outside that it was like an active shooter or a lockdown or something like that. And it was just very stressful and scary. And I honestly hope that no situation like that happens, because I don't know how I would react in that situation. Um, yeah. So anyways, I just wanted to share that information with you guys. Let me know if you work in a school, if you've ever had situations like that happen where there's been so much confusion and like chaos, and how did you handle it? So anyways, that's all for today's video. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, any topics you'd like me to discuss in the future on my channel, please be sure to let me know and I'd be glad to get something filmed for you. And with that being said, I will talk to you guys next time.